Everything in life is a mental picture. Every goal you have begins as a picture in your mind, and anything you don't like about yourself or your life can be changed by your mental picture. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kathy Owen. I have been a certified fitness trainer and certified life coach since 2002. I help others transform their lives using Stop the Mind Screw process. On this channel, we talk about fitness, having a growth mindset, habits, and even some reality transurfing. Today, we are going to talk about how to change your life by changing your self-image with tips from Chapter 1 of Cybernetics. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell so you never miss content from me. The self-image can be changed. That mental picture you have of yourself can be changed. And numerous case studies have shown that one is never too young or too old to change his or her self-image and thereby start to live a new life. There are many concepts in psychology that try to explain our behavior. One of the most powerful ones is the concept of the self-image. What is the self-image and how does it influence me and my life? When teaching Stop the Mind Screw process, we start right here. Why? Because the self-image has flaws. We will always mind screw ourselves out of success and happiness. Think about it. If everything in life is a mental picture, then think about how we can change that negative self-image that says, I am fat. I am not confident. I am not good at connecting with others. This does more damage than good. Let's discuss. Discovery of the real self. Understanding the psychology of the self can mean the difference between success and failure, love and hate, bitterness and happiness. The discovery of the real self can rescue a crumbling marriage, recreate a faltering career, and transform victims of personality failure. In air quotes, personality failure. Your real self means the difference between freedom and the compulsions of conformity. Wouldn't you enjoy the freedom of loving yourself, loving the life you live, feeling great about the goals you set? It is possible, and we will discuss this here. Introducing the self-image. Dr. Maltz, the author of Cybernetics, found that plastic surgery did not only affect the physical appearance of someone, but produced incisions deep into the human psyche. That gal I told you about at the beginning of the episode, yeah, she was a gal I knew in my early 20s, and she was very young herself. But she was addicted to plastic surgery. I could not understand why for the life of me. And she had so many different surgeries, any kind of surgery that was out at the time. This was in the early 90s. She had it. She even had one surgery that was detrimental for the rest of her life. What she did was she wanted to be taller, and she had vertebrae inserted into her spine to make her taller. When she had this surgery, she ended up in a wheelchair, paralyzed for the rest of her life. And she didn't even need it. In my opinion, and looking at her, she was tall. She was beautiful. She was awesome. But she had a self-image that didn't align with her true self. Dr. Maltz in Cybernetics saw the same exact thing that I'm talking about right there. That there is something at the core of our minds that determines how we see ourselves, regardless of the objective reality, and thus how we feel and behave. This is what is called the self-image. The self-image, our own concept of the kind of person that we are. Do you label yourself as insert the blank bad label? Change that by changing your self-image. It is easier than you think. What is your mental blueprint? The most important psychological discovery of this century is the discovery of the self-image. Whether we realize it or not, each of us carries about with us a mental blueprint or a picture of ourselves. It may be vague and ill-defined to our conscious gaze. In fact, it may not be consciously recognizable at all. All of your actions, your feelings, behaviors, even your abilities are always consistent with this self-image. In short, you will act like the sort of person you conceive yourself to be. This self-image has been built upon and shaped by our own beliefs about ourselves. Most of these have been ingrained unconsciously from our past experiences, successes, and failures. From all of these, we mentally construct a self or a picture of self. The key is that our actions, feelings, behaviors, even our abilities are always consistent with this self-image. My friend who had all those surgeries, I often wonder where her stories came from. She was beautiful, only in her early 30s and vibrant, but she had no self-esteem. She had no self-image. She thought so low of herself, she became addicted to plastic surgery. Why surgery did not help them? For those patients who always had a positive self-image about themselves and suffered an accident in the surgery, restored their physical appearance and put it back with their self-image. For others who had built up a negative self-image about themselves through lifelong experiences of rejection and feelings of self-consciousness, the surgery could not change their feelings of inadequacy. The self-image was still the same. These were the patients who claimed that the disfigurement was still there and continued to feel self-conscious about their appearance. I see this with clients I've trained over the years. They lose the weight, but they don't see how great they look. They start feeling great and confident for their age, but they still feel old. They may even have started dating somebody that they thought they really wanted, but they still suffer from something that holds them back. In short, you will act like the sort of person you conceive yourself to be. Not only this, but you literally cannot act otherwise, in spite of all your conscious efforts and willpower. Therefore, the self-image sets the boundaries of the individual accomplishment. It determines what you can and cannot do. This one little thing could make all the difference in us achieving our goals. That one little thing. Are you on our email list? Consider joining today. We offer exclusive weekly content related to fitness, having a growth mindset, and habits. There's a download, the Hot Habit Checklist download, that will have you building healthy, happy habits in no time. Bonus content from Kathy's coaching, including a mental diet resource guide and a definite chief aim template and more. You can find this at www.kathyowen.com/fitness. I hope to see you there. Now let's get back to the episode. Expand the self-image and you expand the area of possible. The development of an adequate, realistic self-image will seemingly give us new capabilities and talents and allow us to unlock our true potential. Dr. Maltz summarized it like this: to really live, that is, to find life reasonably satisfying, you must have an adequate and realistic self-image that you can live with. You must find yourself acceptable to you. You must know yourself, both your strengths and your weaknesses, and be honest with yourself concerning both. Your self-image must be reasonable approximation of you, being neither more than you are nor less than you are. In short, the self-image is the key to human personality and human behavior. Change your self-image, you change your personality and behavior. So how does one change the self-image? One of the reasons it has seemed so difficult for people to change their habits, personality, or way of life has been that all the efforts, strategies, and techniques that are used don't really affect the image we have of ourselves. So how do you change the picture we have about ourselves? It cannot be influenced or changed by willpower, knowledge alone, but by sheer experiencing. As your self-image was modified by experiences in the past, it can be changed again in the same method. Let me explain. Cybernetics and the auto mechanism. The premise of cybernetics is that our brain and nervous system constitute a goal-striving mechanism, which can be set to either failure or success, depending on how you operate it, especially through the goals you set for this mechanism. Humans are innately goals-driven creatures. We always have goals, even if we are aware of it or not, because our brain sees the pictures we hold in our heads as the goals we're striving for. The fact can be seen in the simple example of picking up a pen. The association or image you have in your head is the goal that the automatic mechanism acts upon. You simply pick up the pen without any conscious thought. What does that have to do with our self-image? The self-image itself is the main image that our goal-striving mechanism is oriented on. Therefore, it sets the limits for the accomplishment of any particular goals, the area of possible. This mechanism, however, can work both as a success or a failure mechanism, depending on the goal we set for it by the data we feed into it. I talked about this a little bit about the success mechanism and failure mechanism a few weeks ago in part 2 of Cybernetics. I'll have a link to that episode in the show notes and description, which will be the blog post that goes with this episode. If we hold thoughts and pictures of worry, unworthiness, inferiority, incapability, or failure, a negative self-image, in our head, then our subconscious mind will process that as the goal to strive for. What's really going on? Your body language and attitude will adapt without you even being consciously aware of it. You will then indeed repel others, isolate yourself, and start the self-fulfilling prophecy. You act and feel not according to what things are really like, but according to the image your mind holds of what they are like. You have a certain mental image of yourself, your world, and the people around you, and you behave as though these images were the truth, rather than the things they actually represent. You will not be able to act otherwise than according to these limiting beliefs, and will find the result in the form of an objective experience. This is how thoughts can create reality. AKA, my beautiful friend had to have all these surgeries because, according to her reality in her mind, she had limiting beliefs. We've all been there. What to do then? Only positive thinking? Positive thinking is indeed effective, but only when consistent with the overall self-image. Change the self-image first, then positive thinking will be the seeds that fall on the fertile soil. Have you ever thought about having a positive vision for yourself? Maybe picturing in your mind a few minutes every single day that vision. My friend who had to have all those surgeries thought she could not wait for the changes to take place. It does take time, just like planting seeds and nurturing them to grow. So we must also imagine what we want. Goal setting through imagination. Research has shown that the human nervous system cannot tell the difference between an actual experience and an experience imagined vividly and in detail. What does that mean for the self-image? If you can imagine your desired future life situation so extremely, vividly, and with such details and emotions as if it were already an accomplished fact, your brain will accept it as a real experience. This is exactly why we start with what we want in vivid detail in Stop the Mind Screw. I even created a template for your definite chief aim. That is a bonus download when you sign up for my email list. The link is in the show notes and the description today, and I've already mentioned that. When you know exactly what you want, you will then adjust your subconscious behavior and attitude to make your actions congruent with that new mental image. In short, creative mental picturing or imaging sets a new goal for the automatic mechanism to strive for and will install this imagined situation as the new self-image. Now, how can we implement this habit of creating a mental picture? Introducing the theater of the mind. To effectively change your self-image, it is essential to regularly make use of creative mental picturing. Dr. Maltz called it a mental movie that you regularly watch in the theater of your mind. First, you need to develop a script for your mental movie. You need to define your goal or end result. It can be any new life situation you want to be in or an ability you want to have. For example, you picture yourself in your dream job or doing something you are really scared of. Maybe it's public speaking or having a job interview. Picture the situation vividly and have clear image of what is happening. Then capture the feeling you would experience if the desired goal were already accomplished fact. We'll discuss this a little bit deeper in just a minute. But what feeling would you have? Would it be freedom, courage, empowerment? Really tune into that feeling and while having the pictures in mind. Second, write the script down and make sure to memorize it so that you can recall and watch that mental movie whenever you'd like. Third, make the theater of the mind a fixed part of your daily routine. For about 10 minutes every single day, watch your mental movie. Awake the empowering feeling it gives you and prime yourself for success. Further understanding. Number 1, evoke that winning feeling. Before starting your mental movie, it is crucial to engage your subconscious mind by remembering what Maltz calls the winning feeling. If you struggle with simply tuning into the emotions that you want to feel during your mental movie, then start with an emotion from the past. Recall a past situation that made you feel good about yourself and gave you a similar emotion. It can be as simple as riding the bicycle for the first time, learning to tie your shoes, or any other thing that made you feel proud and happy about yourself. It does not matter when this experience took place. It is about the feeling you got from it. What sounds were there? What about your environment? What else was happening around you at the time? What objects were present? What time of year was it? Were you cold or were you hot? You keep feeling the desired emotion, but now combine it with your new mental movie. This will allow you to intensify the experience, make it more real, and thus make your self-image stick. The more detailed you can make it, the better. If you can remember in sufficient detail just what happened when you were successful at something in the past, you will find yourself feeling just as you felt then. Try to remember your particular feelings at the time. If you can remember your winning feeling from the past, it will be reactivated in the present. So you are carrying that reactivated winning feeling into your mental movie. Use relaxation and let the subconscious do the work. After supplying the goal to your subconscious mind, don't try to interfere with its working and accelerate the process by willpower. This would only interfere with the automatic mechanism. This is force, like we talked about in the Levels of Consciousness by Dr. David Hawkins in Power versus Force. After you formed a mental image of the goal you seek to create, the how will come to you, not before. It will come after. Remain calm and relaxed, and the answers will arrive. Any attempt to force the ideas to come will not work. As Brian Tracy wrote, in all mental workings, effort defeats itself. After practicing your creative mental picturing, the focus should be on relaxation and on letting the subconscious do the work. This is what creative people of all times found to be the best way to come up with new ideas, inspirations, or solutions. Bertrand Russell wrote in his book, The Conquest of Happiness, I have found, for example, that if I have to write upon some other difficult topic, the best plan is to think about it with very great intensity, the greatest intensity of which I am capable, for a few hours or days, and at the end of that time, give orders, so to speak, that the work is to proceed underground. After some months, I return consciously to the topic and find that the work has been done. This is why it is best to make the mental movie part of your evening routine. You then have a great transition from priming your subconscious mind to relaxation and letting it do the work. As Thomas Edison said, never go to sleep without a request to your subconscious. Number 3, listen to your subconscious and act upon it. Your subconscious will connect the dots to make your mental movie a reality, and a plan with the needed steps will unfold how you are going to accomplish the result you seek. This happens often through hunches and ideas during a relaxed moment. For example, in the shower, I'm sure you've experienced this, or right after waking up. Write these ideas down and act according to them. It will be easier for you to do that if you keep your end goal in awareness. It will feel less effortful and more automatic. I love to do this in my Dream Big page inside my Notion journal. You are, however, still responsible for holding yourself accountable that you take daily action towards your goals. The change will not suddenly come into your life while you sit on the couch and wait. Distractions and negative influences can easily bring you off your path. Remember, every single thing that happens is in contribution to your end goal. The journey and the destination are one. Putting into practice. Ask yourself, what is your vision? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Try to come up with a vivid image of your life situation and how it will make you feel. Start to revisit it before going to sleep. Over time, you can develop a habit around it and regularly enter the theater of the mind. You'll be amazed by the changes that your life will take from there. In summary, and where this all began, everything in life is a mental picture. Every goal you have begins as a picture in your mind, and anything you don't like about yourself or your life can be changed by changing your mental pictures. All right, that's my episode for today. Thank you for spending part of your day with me. If you know someone who can benefit from this episode, please share it with them. And until next time, I'll see you next time. Peace out and namaste.